Hello, my fellow weirdos. I guess I'm back. I'm back again tonight. I thought I would not be, but this has just been on in the last couple of minutes, and I was watching it. It's almost over, and I was like, it's about, what is it, 8 minutes long? So just bear with me, guys, okay? It's 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes long. Fresh off his filibuster, Cory Booker is interviewing with Rachel Maddow. So, I just want you to listen. All it's showing is her and him, and I just want you to listen to this. And I know if you've seen any of my videos today, you all know by now, Cory Booker is my senator. I want you to hear this video. I want you to hear this interview, because what I have been saying on my videos today about the filibuster and what prompted him to do this, because I want you to see that it does matter. Our phone calls, our letters, our postcards, our emails. At least in Jersey, and I can guarantee you any other Democrat will respond the same way. Why? She asks why you decided to do this. Listen, I will shut up. And yes, I know my eye is still red, but it doesn't hurt near like it did the last 2-3 days. You gotta listen to this. I will try to shut up.
First TV interview since his record-breaking speech in the Senate. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, the new record holder for the Senate's longest ever speech. Senator, how are you?
I'm definitely hurting a little bit, but I'm feeling strong in spirit and grateful to so many people who allowed me to tell their stories on the Senate floor, and who were there for me, from the parliamentary staff to my colleagues. It was a long 25 hours, but I'm feeling a lot of gratitude.
Staying up 25 hours for any reason is a trying thing physically. What was different about the experience of it than what you anticipated? I mean, you stood by your fellow Senator Chris Murphy 9 years ago when he did 15 hours. He described that today as a solidarity or a sympathy filibuster, and that you stood with him during that time. So you've experienced some of the pain of this before, but A, you're 9 years older than you were then, and B, this was a lot longer. How was it different, and how much were you prepared for?
You know, I was grateful to Chris. I talked about it before, and I at the end tonight, I said, our balance sheet's not equal. I now owe you 10 more hours. I stood with him, and I really wanted to see if I could stand for as long as he and I were going to go, and he was successful that day in getting concessions from Mitch McConnell to have votes on the Senate floor around gun safety. Unfortunately, even common sense gun safety then failed. But for me, it was an experience that stuck in my mind. I could do 15 hours without going to the bathroom, even though my legs really hurt over those 15 hours. Both of us talked about how our feet hurt. And so when my team and I decided to do this, we just said, let's take some risks. Let's go out there and see how long we could last. And to be candid, Strom Thurmond's record always kind of just really irked me, that he would be the longest speech, that the longest speech on our great Senate floor was someone who was trying to stop people like me from being in the Senate. So to surpass that was something I didn't know if we could do, but it was something that was really, once we got closer, it became more and more important to me.
You used that phrase, take risks. You said repeatedly over the course of this filibuster, this speech, that you're motivated to do this by your constituents essentially challenging you to come up with something, to do something more than you thought you comfortably could do. Can you tell us a little bit about the decision-making process that you went through about deciding to do this? Obviously, you kind of kept it under wrap.
I am not the only one. We kept telling him, do something. Do something big. Do something that brings attention. Do something. And since other Democrats weren't whatever. It matters when you call. It matters when you contact your reps and your senators. Well, shut up.
You prepared with your staff, but nobody publicly knew you were going to do this until you started it.
No, I do really credit constituents who are impatient, who are demanding, who are scared, who are angry, and very understandably taking that anger out on Democrats who have to take some responsibility for being where we are in American history right now. And so the more I thought about it with my team, especially after the decisions we made revolving around the continuing resolution, I've been working so hard with my colleagues trying to get them to engage in social media, put more of their heart and spirit out there. They're doing an amazing job. They've almost quadrupled the numbers of engagement online. I've got colleagues opening up TikTok accounts, but I suddenly realized that I've just got to do something myself. I've got to, try to prove worthy for my constituents that I'm willing to step out and step up in some way, and hopefully be able to share their stories that were so hurtful, and to read from my staff, people rendering their most personal stories about their fears or what's happening to their families. And so my staff and I said, let's try to bring those voices to the Senate floor. Let's see how long you can last. They're demanding something different. This will certainly be different. And I think that a lot of that energy from the folks that I've been seeing in Jersey and across this country really helped carry me through.
I don't know if you are
I don't know if you've probably seen in the protest pictures and videos and stuff of the Bridge Brigade. Every weekend they're on that overpass, the screened-in overpass that you can like walk over, right? With the swastika signs and whatever every week. That's New Jersey, the Visibility Bridge.
Conscious of how much this caught the attention and caught the imagination of the American people. I know that you're not using electronic devices on the Senate floor. You're not watching your TikTok numbers and your YouTube numbers and the C-SPAN contemporaneous viewing numbers while you're there, because you can't be. But every time that I checked any form of media by which you could be live monitored, there were no less than tens of thousands of people watching in the same place that I was in that moment.
Last night, late night, I'd gotten up to go pee. I'd fallen asleep and passed out and gotten up to go pee. And like late night, there were like 40,000 people. This morning when I checked in at one point, there were like almost like 68 or 69,000 people watching live on the Associated Press channel. 68,000 people. And there were bots in the chat, the live chat, but you could tell the difference between a bot, and every time I went, that chat was moving, and it wasn't just bots on it either.
What you've done with everything else that's going on with this administration and the horrific cuts of 10,000 people fired today from the nation's health agencies and all these other things.
CDC
this is the biggest story in the country right now. You have captured people's attention
CDC
for 25 hours.
Today.
And I'm wondering, for people who were moved by what you did, either among your Senate colleagues or just people who watched you from home, what do you hope they might do differently if they're moved by you and they feel the same sort of spirit that caused you to do what you did?
Well, I hope that we're all served to be ignition points for each other. My constituents, the letters, the calls, the demands were definitely an ignition point for me, but we've got to continue to ignite this movement.
Your voice matters,
the only thing
people.
that stopped Donald Trump from tearing away the Affordable Care Act was the engagement of tens of thousands of Americans who didn't think they would become little lobbyists or activists or come down to the Capitol or protest in their community.
It's up to you.
Rachel, you and I have known each other a long time, and I've been
don't worry about them. It's up to you to speak out.
I'm so grateful that you doing this first 100 days, and I love how you start every show by showing what other Americans are doing They're not waiting for us in Congress to lead. They've decided to take matters into their own hands and do something different. Those
April
people
5th, big one
were
coming up.
to me to catch up, to try to do what like they're doing. This is really about folks leading from their hearts and deciding I'm not going to just let business as usual go on in my life. And so I'm hoping that this is one part of a larger effort that tries to stop them from doing what they're about to do later this week or next week. I have not sort of checked out for this 24 hours, but they're going to try to push through a bill that's going to gut $880 billion from Medicaid. They're going to try to put forward to a bill that's going to give tax cuts to the wealthiest of our country, disproportionately trillions of dollars, all that, and they're going to still blow one of the biggest single president deficits into our national economy, into our national debt. It's outrageous, and we have got to try to stop them in the same way that the people of this country were able to get good conscious Republicans, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, John McCain, to change their votes and stop him from doing it. Well, we need to move 3 members in the House, I think, and 4 members in the Senate, and all of us have to be a part of that. We can't sit back and do nothing.
I'm listening to you and I hear you, but I'm also outside my body a little bit, marveling at your cogency right now. I know that, I don't know if you know that you are still making sense, but you're still making sense and your sentences are still properly structured, and it's starting to feel like a superhuman thing. I'm mindful of how much of your additional energy I'm taking right now. Am I right that you wear one of those rings that monitors your vitals?
I do. My staff was telling me we had to look at what it says. So I opened it up, and it gave me nothing on a sleep score because my heart rate was pretty damn high after about 4 or 5 hours, a little bit high. That's concerning. So there are definitely some physical things. I'm feeling it now, and it's the first time I ever did an interview with you where I got to sit down, and there's a man here I've known for years, and he just I almost kissed him when he gave me this seat to sit down. So I'm grateful.
Well, Senator, as I said, what you've done has captured the nation's attention, and I think captured the moral imagination of this nation in a way that you were really demanding with what you did. And so I don't know what the outcome's going to be. You never know what the outcome's going to be of these things. I do know that if you don't do it, nothing's going to happen. And so I wish you rest, and I think you should get checked out by a doctor, and I think you should hydrate, and I hope you get people to leave you alone for the next few hours.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The new record holder for filibuster is the black Senator Cory Booker. Much more fitting than racist Thurman. Well done, Senator. And I'm damn proud that you're my senator. Everybody, if you're senators, if you're reps that are Republicans, do it anyway. You might not get as much of a response, but do it anyway. But especially your Democratic ones. You see what happens when a state says enough is fucking enough. We might be small in size, but damn it, you're gonna listen to what we have to say. We're one of the smallest states. And the constituents, us residents, spoke up loud enough and often enough to our senator that he did something to be proud of. You can get yours to also do their sorts of protesting. But you have to stand behind them for them to stand behind you. Just electing them is not the end of your job. If you want them to stay engaged and energized and motivated to go the way you have elected them to go, then you and your responsibility is to check in now and then with them and remotivate them and remind them how whatever it is affecting you, those you know. Your responsibility does not end after electing them. Too many people have forgotten that, and these representatives and these senators are trying to do things on their own steam, and they lose their fucking ways. Because if they don't hear from their constituents in their states, they start hearing from lobbyists. And they hear from the lobbyists way more than they hear from a lot of their constituents. So keep that in mind. If you want your reps and senators to be energized and to keep remembering why they're there and what they're supposed to be doing, what they promised us to do, we have to keep reminding them, because if we don't, that lets in the thoughts of, well, I guess I'll do what's for me because nobody's reaching out to say otherwise. You get what I'm saying? We reached out and said, hell no! I know, Smudge. Hell no! Right? Yeah. Come, tell everybody, hell no. Yeah, see? She's saying hell no. Tell them. Tell them often. Remind them why they're there. Do it every damn day until they figure it out. Lobbyists, no. Constituents, yes. It's a two-way street. You don't just elect them and your job is done. That's what a living government is. You're engaged with it periodically. Not just it'll run itself. Because if you don't stay engaged, the evil entities, the money greedy, are the ones that are harping in their ears. Not the people that sent them there. Keep reminding them. And after this is all gone, however it pans out, we get our America back. Remember that. Even in the good times, remember to keep talking to them. Peace out, weirdos.